Good afternoon. Hope everybody's doing great. First of all, just this week's our salute to service game, honoring all the men and women that are serving and have served. So it'd be great to honor them, the sacrifices that they make, their families make. We appreciate everything that they do. Also, Senior Day, just you look at this group of seniors, so many guys that when I first got here chose to stay here, been cornerstones in building this program, and a lot of guys that have played a lot of great football for us and great leaders, but great individuals too. So it'll be a special day to recognize them. Moving on, got UTEP this week. Opportunity for us to grow as a football team, continue to get better, and the next step forward for us. So I'll open it up. This might be the shortest one that we've had.
Do you have any concerns, or do you feel like your culture is good enough that this team can turn the page and get ready to play, this type of game, with what you're just coming off of, and then what everybody's talking about potentially or not potentially down the road?
Yeah, this group's extremely competitive. They work hard. They made last week a big game because of what they've invested. They certainly, today, how we need to be better, things that we control. It's a group that's been competitive on the grass and on Saturdays, and this is the next step for us. And you guys have heard me say it before, but we're in the arena, right? You got to go make it happen. We got to continue to grow, and they recognize the opportunity that we have this week. So expect everybody to respond in a really positive way. It was that way today. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of really good things that we've done, and that can be throughout the season or on Saturday against Georgia. There's areas that we got to get better offensively, red zone, and I said the simple things are the things that are going to matter in the game. The ordinary, everyday things, do them at a high level, and it's signal recognition, it's alignment, it's no pre-snap penalties, it's not changing the way the game's played, and there's just too many instances of Tennessee hurting Tennessee on Saturday, and that's not taking anything away from Georgia, but the things that we can control, we got to be better at, and ultimately, when you play good on good, those things are going to have a huge impact on the game.
Josh, would you identify as maybe the reason Georgia was able to slow your pass rush down, and how would you assess maybe the added pressure you all brought in addition to your 3-4 down linemen throughout the game as well?
End of the day, they got a hat on a hat and protected well and did that in different ways. Some of it was heavy play action with some extra bodies in there. Some of it was on drop back pass. And end of the day, we didn't get home, and we got to affect the quarterback. He was too comfortable for most of the night.
Most times people kind of put a noon game in the column of like it's hard to generate juice for, but since you all are a morning practice team, do you feel like it's easier for the kids to get up for that one, knowing that that they're used to that early time slot?
I do think early, because of our practice schedule, like those guys know how to get their bodies ready to roll, and it's been a while since we've had a true early kickoff. But our guys will be ready for this week.
With Nico's internal clock, I guess, in the pocket, how has he been? How difficult is that for a young quarterback? How long to keep your eyes downfield, when to tuck and run, and that sort of thing?
Yeah, for the most part, been really good. When the pocket's been clean, he stayed in there until the bodies were matched out, and you got to go make a play. There's been an occasion where, color flashes and he gets out, but that's a part of his game too, and extension of plays and making plays outside of the pocket. So all in all, as a young guy, has been solid, but continued growth there.
Josh, on the opening drive of the third quarter, I think you guys had 4th and 6, I think at the 36. I think you took the delay game and ended up punting. What went into the decision? Did you consider a field goal? Did you consider go for him? What were the factors?
Right on the edge of, where all things are in play, 4th down, field goal, and punt. And ultimately made the decision, based on a bunch of different factors that try to draw them off sides. Then, took the delay, try to pin them back. We'd been good in those situations, and it wasn't our best pin punt, but it's inside the 15, and then defensively just gave up a couple of plays.
Coach, considering what Georgia has done the last 4 or 5 years, 2 of the last 3 national titles, is there any part of you that takes a big picture view and looks at that as a measuring stick where you were in the 4th quarter, or no, or you in the foxhole this season and you just
Man,
lost
this
that game?
program's a long ways away, rearview mirror, from being okay with the wrong outcome. I think we look at the second half, but the first half too, but the second half, missed opportunities, things that, we didn't take advantage of all 3 phases of the game. And, all that being said, it's a 1-possession game, late in the 4th, and we got to go make a play. I told the guys, before the game, games like that, you got to play smart. You got to be extremely physical. We were physical, but you got to go take the game in the 4th quarter too. And just there's a bunch of different reasons, but we didn't get it done.
Penalties and penalties overall earlier. What needs to happen for that to get corrected?
The pre-snap, that can be, the false starts, a couple of them in critical moments. Defensively, offsides a couple times, give them free plays, to push it down the field. And it's literally doing your job, the ordinary things at a really high level. And I know that's not the, sexiest way to say it, you know what I mean? I was trying to find another word besides that, but Hubs, why you laughing? But like at the end of the day, man, it's doing your job at a high level.
How do you assess where the receiver room is as a whole right now? What needs to get better? What's been good?
I thought they did some really good things on Saturday, one-on-ones, winning. We were much better, on 3rd down than, certainly a year ago against them. That's, where the game changed a year ago. Still more opportunities for us in the pass game, and that's all 11. You guys have heard me say that again, right? It's winning the one-on-one with route discipline and playing with technique to create some separation. It's accuracy, quarterback, it's protection. It takes all of it to come together and be as efficient as possible, and try to create more big plays in the pass game.
You mentioned doing ordinary things at a high level. When you look on defense, when it comes to tackling, what's the balance in determining when to play the ball or the body and maybe tackling a little bit better?
That's ball-me-man relationships and being a player and understanding where you're at, and can I go make a play, or do I got to, defend the man, make a tackle? It's called being a player. And, there's some really good things as far as our coverage. 2nd and 3rd level the other night. There's some competitive plays that they made, which you play good teams, that's going to happen too. And then there's some things, could be our eyes, on the snap, whatever it might be, where we're just a little bit out of position. And some of those things are what I was talking about as far as how we can be better and control our controllables.
know it's a new year and a different team, but how much can you go back and look at the Austin Peay game last year in preparation for this week with the coach, going over to UTEP?
Yeah, I think obviously some of their staff being there, a lot of it, you can draw from some of that, but as he takes a new job, personnel, all of that plays into who he is now at UTEP.
Coaches, you're looking for ways to constantly get better and grow. You had mentioned that hey, in addition to playing better execution, we got to coach better.
Yeah.
What are some things that you'd like to see you guys maybe take a step in terms of the coaching aspect?
Yeah, you know, I always try to point a finger at myself first, and you know, there's just, again, making sure that we're putting our kids in the best position, and you know, some of that situational football, whatever it might be. So how do we continue to put the 11 guys, offense, defense, special teams, in the best position to go play their best?
It's senior day, but it's also an opportunity for some of those young guys because, at the end of the season, you're going to generate a bunch of these guys out of the program. What kind of message do you give to those young guys that have a chance to kind of jumpstart 2025 with this game?
Man, we're a long ways away from 2025. But we're always intentional with developing our young guys, some of those that are on the field, some that aren't. How do we continue to get them better? But also in leadership, control, command, communication roles as well. A lot of those guys are a part of what we do with our guys every single week. So, again, it's everybody in our program continuing to take a step forward. That's the challenge, man. You get an opponent on Saturdays, but the real opponent is yourself. And how do I continue to push forward and be my best? What are the things that I need to improve on? And you do that whether you win or you lose. And that's how good teams become great, because everybody's taking those steps forward. It's a journey.